go live button.
Perfect.
So I haven't gone live in a long time. So that's it. That. So this was a technicality. Hi. Welcome to the Midnight Technician. I totally just had a little spiel about this, but just had a. I'm glad someone's watched my back. Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, you're live now. Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
I can see you too.
Look at
All
that. Okay, so again, let's sing for those that I don't know if it even recorded what I started saying before. So we're gonna go from the beginning. Welcome to the Midnight Technician. So what this is a fictitious company that we're just gonna call the Midnight Technician. Everybody used to have a backyard mechanic. Now we all have midnight technicians that fix our shit for tech. So the idea here is that we have a fictitious tech company that wants to keep track of the customers' devices, the customers' tickets, the customers' uh, all their requests, their logs. We want to be able to be able to have an employee view of that. We want to keep track of our employees. We want to keep track of our services, invoices, all this stuff. You can find some earlier videos on this in the playlist, or I should be linking that in. I might edit this afterward. Edit the link in the description below. But I've kind of revisioned it, and it was always meant to be Java basics. Thank you, honey. Wife just totally brought me in some smoothie. So I've always wanted to make kind of a basic video series, but not necessarily like Hello World basic, because there's a lot of those riddled around. And there's also a lot of this is how you do this is how you implement security, this is how you do this, and it always gives you kind of one way, and it always gives you. It's kind of like when the police read the Miranda rights in a movie. You know it's there, but they only give you the snippet and then cut off. Okay, that's kind of like a lot of tutorials that I've seen and witnessed and viewed that were um, teaching you little bits and unit concepts and like snippets of things, but there's not really any kind of like production ready. There is like the Spring Pet Clinic, there is the Landon Hotel, and there's a couple out there that teach you some of the basics. However, I feel like there's nothing out there that truly teaches everybody the basic tech stacks that you need, like Kafka messaging queue or even RabbitMQ. I'm not really biased, but I like Kafka more. Um, the microservice designs, there's a lot of people that talk about it and kind of explain it, but never actually show or practice anything. There's a lot of other examples about CRUD databases and whatnot. And so I threw this together in, I don't know, 4 or 5 days um, when I kind of had the idea. And so the project itself is technically 3 projects on GitHub. You'll notice that there is a front end, a back end, and a shared project. The idea here is that there is technically 2 projects, the front end and the back end, right now. Um, these happen to have a shared library, um, from which let me get my face out of here and show some code. And this, do that, like this. Look at that. Moved. I'm in the corner. Hi. Okay. So, um, so this, for example, is the back end, and it has a services module, which is technically sort of like the um, core services, I suppose. I probably could have named that core services or core something, but it features it holds specific features like the customer, their devices, employees, and services um, that we store in the like the store. Like how we, I think I had the example of like um, destroying items, reimaging, such things like that. Um, the the shared module just pretty much consists of the shared logging module, because we also uh, to also give people again another piece of tech stack that they can work with. We're also including Sentry. Okay, let's step back. So we're using Java 25 as our, as it is the new long-term LTS. So I want it to be at least modern with this video. So we're using the latest Java. We're using Spring Boot's latest version 4. Right now, as of this stream, it is milestone 3. So, and then we are also using, we're taking advantage of Timeleaf for our front ends engines, or our front end bit. We're taking advantage of, honestly, I don't know TypeScript, so I'm just using straight up JavaScript. We're using Kafka as or going to be using Kafka as our messaging queue. We're using Sentry as our logging agent, so everything that we issues, we get that tracked to Sentry so that we can get some analytics and whatnot in back. Sorry, I just really had to drink that. It looked good. We're also going to be, I have a lot of stack on this. So again, there's the shared document just simply has all the data transfer objects, or DTOs. It has a couple of pieces of models that are used between them all, such as device types, when we're registering new devices into the database from the front end, and some ticketing statuses, just more or less an enum so that we keep consistencies. There's a separate ticket module. The ticketing module takes care of things related to creating a ticket, viewing a ticket, and things of that nature. So this is also a way where you can explore a modular project. That being said, the shared project is, and I'll put together a README at some point, kind of explaining how to do this. But the shared module is actually added through Git. So it is just a Git submodule add, and then you provide the link, or the Git link, whether it be the HTTP or the SSH, I believe you can also pass through here. But either way, it'll add it in. It'll take care of creating the Git modules, and theoretically, if you just clone the project, everything should be preloaded through Git module. Yeah, so services takes care of, it's more of a feature-based design than a MVC, whereas here we keep all of the customer-related things in one thing, so the actual model, the controller, the repository, and the service layer. These all, and the beauty with Spring is also to show young developers that want to just toy around and get their feet wet. This is also to show you just how easy it is to map things to databases. So, for example, this has a mixture of databases, actually. I'll have to get the second one set up, but the services module, this uses a Postgres database, to which it maps all of its information. And I just need to copy that, paste that. So that's super secure. And you can see here where it's got customers. You can see where we got some mock-up or some just data here for customer data. We have some mock-up employees, which we also have services that we offer here: destroy, reimage, backup, diagnostics, hardware upgrade, and on-site tech. simple things that can be updated actually, thanks to IntelliJ, kind of right here. So all you have to do if you want to change anything is just strictly change it. Like we can make this here $75 a reimage for some reason. And you just hit the little plus arrow or the little up arrow and done. Now we've just changed our database. IntelliJ makes it incredibly easy. Not that it's a sponsor, but if you're not using it, you're doing something wrong. We also have user profiles here, which again, these are just quick little database views. The other, and this is all through the Postgres database. The other one that we have is MongoDB to show you a non-SQL database, something that you can just essentially pop a JSON into. That is in the ticketing service. The controller is just very generic for right now. A lot of this is very, very, very early. Again, I kind of hacked this all together in a couple days. The idea is I'm going to continue to add to it, continue to build with it, continue um, to work on it, and hopefully I can inspire or encourage other developers to take a swing at it as well. Maybe clone it, fork it, make their own thing. Maybe make a pull request to, you know, connect with me, make your own pushes, improve on what I have. But I'm gonna make another. So I don't know why I lost my connection in the first place. 64. I think I made that. What? Oh, I should have looked at that. Didn't I actually give it a database name? Oh yeah, midnight ticketing. That's right. That's what I gave it. Don't say it, Thomas. Yes, I also have a my friend here, our other developer here with me, Thomas.
Hello.
Totally make sure this works. Feel like it will. That's why I turned that Docker container off. Oh, that's why. No, it's 42. Wrong port. Is there a way to stop that? Yeah, okay, abort. Abort. I had this connected earlier. Cool. Live. Everything goes perfect in live. Uh, did I seriously change this at any point? Did I? Ooh. I did change it at one point, but yeah, midnight ticketing. That's what I did wrong. Cool. Also, I don't know why I. Cool. So midnight technician user, midnight technician password. Watch this not work either. Mongo not want to work? Cool. Yeah, it's up and going. Mm. Reboot it. Ooh, what I do there? Whoops. Back up. Rerun. Chill out. Loving this doesn't work on stream. Okay, so 42. And I'm using 42 just because um I had something else running on the default. Empty password. Of course you're not going to connect. Why? User empty password. Yeah, okay. So I was connected on this, or was I connected? I don't know why it's cool. I don't know why it lost. Cool. Cool. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's. What the hell was this? Because it was. That was a long time ago. Oh. I don't think this makes it. I'm gonna copy that. I miss the good old days when Spring Boot would pick this up and I can just click and go, yeah, look at that. So it was midnight ticketing. And I'm pretty damn positive it was. Or should it test? Hmm. Interesting. Well, that's kind of a kick in the teeth. It was working. And now I'm curious if I never technically changed that. You're doing that, you're doing that, am I going so I didn't need the ticketing. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I used some values to map this in here from earlier when I changed it, but um curious if it all still runs. It's like the ticketing would not even run. 'Cause in theory, the database is running. It didn't change. Cool. Yeah, that's what I thought. No. Fine. It's not an ambiguous thing. No. Cool. So I might have to dig into this and come back. Fun. Well, I can show off the rest of the project, but apparently I can't run it right now, and I got to figure out my database. That is fantastic. I can't show what it looks like other than the images that I had that are on Discord. It was working. We had a front end. It was ooh, essentially looking like this with an active way to create tickets and add devices. Love it when live stream works perfect. So anyway, the ticketing system makes use of MongoDB. Um, apparently when you get it running. So in here, you can find everything in relation to it inside of the ticket. This one is more of an MVC kind of flow than the services one. That was intentional, just to show uh, the difference between the two. However, this way would be the kind of the preferred way from developers that I've talked to with the MVC. So this one here, again, just exposes some endpoints, takes care of paging so that you can scale up what you want to get. So you're not getting the entire database in size. You're just getting, say, up to 15 at a time in my case here. And as you can step through into the service layer here, this one here is transactional. So it's all or nothing. If something fails, the whole thing stops and gets rolled back. Spring Boot takes care of all of that. Again, Spring Boot is definitely a Java developer's like must know. If you don't know it, I advise you to start learning it. I've got an earlier video on that, Spring into Java, where I've made a basic video, or a basic tutorial series on an open source project as well. And yeah, you can also see where we have our service ticket model. So when we're modeling something here in Mongo, we just simply tag the class itself as a document, and we tell it which collection it's going to be a part of. In our case, like the database table, if you will. And then from there, we need to tag which key is which field is the ID or the primary ID, followed by all of the information that we want to provide in here. All of the fields will be listed in a JSON format, so it makes it very simple to make things of just like lists of objects versus having to make a separate database table and then making relational fields and connecting things together. And MongoDB as a NoSQL database makes it a lot easier than the traditional headache that most of us are familiar with. Also, the repositories, I provided quite a few options here, some without paging, one with paging, just as an example. Later on, as we go through, I will be adding paging to all of them, just as a best practice. Um, and of course, the service layer we just seen. The services that I have here are sequences. So these are just Midnight Technician sequence. This is how um, we keep track of creating, for example, new tickets. Where are we at here? Uh, in one of these. There we go. Minimized. Jeez. Yeah. So here's where we take advantage of this. So when we go to make, un, unlike simplicity in um, a Mongo or a Postgres database where you can get things to auto increment easily. I found that this one here, I had to come up with another way to do it. So instead, we keep track of a specific sequence and then just get it and increment it ourselves. So into the sequence generator here, I just created a MongoSeq, and I also created a couple others for ticketing, for devices, and for service notes to be implemented later on as we go. Um, the idea again is to expose quite a few different tech stacks or technologies to Java developers and see who wants to get their hands dirty and play with this. You can just simply find the project on the Midnight Technician GitHub page and just make a fork of it and go and play. Keep it on the upstream so you can still pull in new code as myself or other developers add into it. One of the other guys actually is going to be Thomas. He's going to be eventually looking at this and providing code as well. Do you have any questions about this so far, Thomas?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually just did a fork of it myself, and I'm like, okay, so I've got it forked, and I've got it pulled into IntelliJ. Now, if I were a complete rookie, where do I go from here?
You can kind of just start to explore it, really. You can look for like through sort of the main files and see where things go. Which side are you looking at, front or back?
I believe, I think this is the same. This might be the front.
It would say front end. There'd be either a website module and a shared module, or it'd be a services shared and ticketing.
Yeah, the first one. This is the front end.
Okay. So
So I need to do the back end too then.
yes, and you got to get them both running. The back end has a Docker file or a Docker Compose file that you can use to spin up the two databases, the Mongo and the uh, Postgres. And from there, you should be able to just run the services module, and then you can run the uh, ticketing service or module. That's essentially two microservices, if you will. There's one kind of core services microservice, and then I've made a ticketing microservice as well, and uh, I'll make a few others from there as well, like notification and Kafka, or not Kafka, notifications and email services and whatnot, so that we'll be able to kind of take swing of Kafka once I get the basics out of the way that needs to be set up first.
Okay. I just forked the back end. Pull that in.
If you took the Glab Tech one, that's the older one. I do notice that you did get that one. There was a
Okay.
There was a Git notification on the Discord about that.
Yeah, I was curious about that one. I'll
That's
burn that one.
that one's basically is it predecessor? Yeah, predecessor to this one.
I must need this one. Good catch. Okay, yeah, this looks different. Okay.
You can take advantage of the services tab to make life easy. But apparently I can't run my ticketing service because it doesn't like the missing Mongo database connection. My other one works fine though. That's great. And I'm betting you if I run the website, I'll cry. Will everything cry? Will everything cry? Oh goodness, will everything cry? Not so much. Cool, 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 cool. So, this is roughly what it looks like right now. This is the front end. Pretty simple, pretty basic. You can go ahead and register yourself and fill out the yada yada data, or you can log in. We're going to see if in my case it will let me log in or if it will throw an error. Look at that, it threw an error. Ah, cool. So that's totally because of the fact that it couldn't pull. Yeah, okay. So dashboard controller, it's trying to pull tickets. So if I were to just comment that out, make this into a new array list just for the sake of it, reran the website, that should at least let me get into my dashboard. Oop. Yay, let me get in. Cool, yay. So here you can see I've got 4 devices listed. I can click on here and I can tell it I want to add, I don't know, my wife's phone, Samsung thingy. I can't remember what kind of phone it is, but we're going to submit this. It's going to say device has been successfully registered. I'm going to refresh the page. Boom, I got 5. So the next thing I have here, you'll notice if you look in the code, is I have to-dos. One of the to-dos is to actually make a way to tell whether the device you have is up for service, in which case change this from healthy to in repair so that people have kind of an idea, I guess, kind of a heads up thing. I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. I went with it. The tickets are usually found pretty easy, but apparently my database is not wired. Some wires are crossed. I'm not surprised, but at the same time, we'll sort that out. Maybe I'll do another video specifically after this on like debugging that connection issue. So yeah, people can come here, go home, see the dashboard. If also in here, thanks to Time Leaf and Spring Security, in the header aspect, there's the Midnight Technician that you saw. If you happen to have the owner role, you'll see an access to a link that goes to ACP that I haven't built yet, but is essentially an admin control panel for them versus this is going to be changed into more of an employee, I guess, or a management dashboard management. The idea was to be able to give management a way to view employees and whatnot. And then, of course, um, I wanted to add another one for just regular employees so that they can have a way to view or like get to their, I guess, control panel, home panel, dashboard, whatever, like where the technician would essentially see all the tickets. And then down here, I just have on the right-hand side, either log in or register or log out. Time Leaf makes everything fucking easy. Probably shouldn't curse. It makes things super easy. I have everything done up in fragments for a very easy object-oriented sort of flow. I simply just, thanks to Time Leaf, just tell it to replace this entire div with this entire div, for example, for like customers. And this one just simply has three big things based on whether it's pending, in progress, or the ticket is open, which is really cool. The front end does take advantage of Spring Boot's REST client so that we can just simply make GET requests or POST requests. Got a couple of POST requests going on down here. So that when somebody submits a service request, this here will make a fetch, or it'll make a POST request to now because of the way this works, I couldn't just tell it another address and then get it to work like I wanted to. Honestly, my JavaScript is pretty rusty, but if anybody wants to kind of help me with that, cool. I would love to learn. But I was going to have it post to the back end to an auth end that was completely on the back end and extracted from having any form of database on the front end whatsoever. Which I ultimately did get because this makes a call into the dashboard thing for tickets, which just ultimately makes a post request to the backend service. Because the difficulty there is that I experienced here was that this post request is initially coming from like domain on port 80, looking to go to another domain on a different port. Which I did do. I did try just straight up passing in HTTP and thinking that would just override it. However, that did not happen. So this was kind of a cheeky little workaround I did for it. So it'll essentially post here to itself, and then this will make through another chain call, make a post request off, looking for the looking to pass in the service request and return a service ticket DTO in return. There's some pretty cool networking going on back and forth if you want to read through the two projects and kind of explore it. There's also a lot of cool things that I would personally like to add to it, but I either am not ready for it yet or don't know how to do it, quite frankly. However, that's why I'm hoping that this will be a bit of a nice little collaboration of developers helping developers. I'm sure I asked you a question earlier, Thomas, and I probably steered way far away from it. How did you make out setting up, or where did you get yourself?
Well, I've got those two pulled in now. And Docker says it's connected, but I can't get anything to actually come to life.
Okay, so
Is there
Are
like an
you
order I need to start services or ticketing or?
so in the back end? It might not have picked up the SQL file. So go into the services module, then source
Okay.
main resources, and then there is a data.sql.
Yeah, that's there.
Okay, so up at the top there should be a green button to execute, and it should bring up a
Yeah.
little window where you can click either to run whichever one that your mouse is on or to run the entire damn file. Uh, you would want to tell it to run the whole damn file, and then that way it will build your SQL database for you and fill it full of some dummy data.
I'm just watching your stream catch up.
Oh.
Oh, I see the green button.
It's up in the top left.
Oh, it says I have to configure a database. What?
So on your lower left hand side, under the services tab, does Docker say that you have the backend running? And does it say that the Mongo database and the could have at least follow the same naming, Mike? Jesus.
I don't think anything is actually running.
This would normally be the moment where I'd jump on your computer and go, "Hey, let me take care of that for you." All right, I can't see what you're doing, so
I'm gonna show you my screen here. 1 second.
cool. Which screen on mine is that going to pop up on? Here we go. Here we go. What's okay, I'm ready. Show me what you're missing.
Well, that's the problem as a juniors. Sometimes you don't know what you're missing.
All right, minimize that Discord thing. Get that out of there.
What Discord thing?
I'm looking at your Discord. What? Am I looking at your stream or my stream? What? Yeah, I'm looking at your stream. I'm looking at your disc. You got Discord over top of.
Oh, it's doing the wrong screen.
Well, I see Discord and I see your other thing, but like I just mean you can minimize Discord and get that out of there and show me what you're looking at.
That's the wrong screen. I
Get it,
need to
get it,
send
get it right, rookie.
this one. Well, I clicked on 3, but it did 2. That should be this one.
There we go. I can see what you're doing now. All right. Configure data source. Yeah, go ahead. Click on configure data source. Like, what? Why is
Configure. Oh,
top right? There's a okay, plus. You're looking for Postgres. Okay, so user, I believe, is M E. Is it or yeah? What the hell did I? Nope. It's apparently glabtech underscore app, all caps. And then the password is glabtech underscore app underscore password, all cap. All right. And the database name is glabtech underscore DB, all lowercase. And I don't actually know if case matters there, but we'll hit the test connection. Failed. Okay, so is your shit actually running? Docker.
No.
No, it's not. Okay. So hit apply, just so you don't have to retype everything. All right, now go into the YAML file. Close that out, sorry, yes, close that out. Go into your YAML file. On the left-hand side, scroll down, you should see docker compose.yaml. Yeah, that thing there. Hit the run double arrow at the top by services on line 2.
Ah, yes, good.
So there you go. So you were missing the databases altogether.
Hooray!
For those of you that can't, I don't know if he wants me to stream this or not. I was going to say, those of you that don't know what we're talking about.
You can show my screen if you can get it onto the stream.
Cool. So we're going to do this. This is me helping him. Back into full screen here. All right, so he's trying to get the project set up, just so you guys know. So if you're interested in getting it set up yourself, show him where the little green button is there on line 2, that double arrow. That's what he had to click in order to run or compose run the compose file here. So everything here says that it's 5 out of 5 created. Everything is good. So now go back up to your database there, right click on that and then click on properties. And now click on test connection. It's probably going to ask you to re-put the password in. Yeah, okay, should I put the password in? GlabTech app, yeah, password. And is it on the same port? Is it on the right port? 435. No, you're on the wrong port. Port should be 64, not 32. There you go. Now test connection. Oh, you don't need to. You're good. You probably got to do it now. I don't know. There you go. So now you can hit the OK button. All right. So now go back into the SQL file and hit the green arrow in the top left. And you want to tell it use default schema, I think. Now the one below it. There you go. Click that. And that's going to fill up your database with some dummy data.
Perfect.
Alrighty. So now if you want to go over and click on your database there at the top, you can expand it down and take a look at the stuff inside. So there you go, into there, into public, into tables, and there's all your tables.
Oh, beautiful.
Right. So now let's go to your back end. Oh wait, you're still on the back end. Okay, so now let's go into your ticketing module because we're going to see if we can spin up your service. So what the hell is your so go hit down inside the services tab. Do you see the plus with the on the left hand side, the big plus next to the eyeball? Yeah, click that. Run configuration and look for Spring Boot down near the bottom. Yep. There. Okay. So expand that, or either or. So double click on services to spin up services. See if this actually runs on out of the box. Of course not. What's wrong with this? DNS is required. Oh,
Yeah,
shoot. It's because it's got all the Sentry information. Ah, okay. Right. Sentry logging. That is the other thing that I am going to have to make a video on how to set up or explain how to set up. Because it's trying to make a connection to Sentry.io in order to handle logging and analysis.
Okay.
So, hello to the person watching. I don't even want to try to butcher your name. Anuba? I totally just butchered it. Anyway, even after saying I wouldn't. Apologies. Literally, he then asks if I read chat. I'm a little slow, but yes, I do. Yes, I do. Welcome. All right. So I guess I can get you off of here now, Thomas. So now, why is my Mongo not? Let's stop this Mongo and start it again. I don't. Well, I stream in my Discord every day. I realistically could be streaming every day. Kind of. 'Cause I'm at this writing code for this app almost every day as it is. Java is my favorite language. I know a lot of languages, but Java is by far my favorite. And this is so not liking it. This is so not liking me. Without that Mongo database. Why is that? Alright, what if I just snag this? Send 0. Try. Okay, so it liked that. It liked that connection. Crazy. Crazy database. Okay, cool. And it still doesn't like it. What? What do you not like now? Error in the bean. Da, 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 da. Unsatisfied dependency with parameter 0. What? Is it the transactional that this didn't like? Because that's the only thing that was new that I added to this. Doo-doo-doo. Interesting. Did I configure something wrong? No, I didn't. That did no difference. Didn't think that would make a difference. Hmm. Well, looks like we're going. Cool. You're not gonna give me anything more useful than that. Cool. All right. So unsatisfied. Ticketing service. So what? Which dependency do you not like being affected? Ah, Mongo repository. Oh, is it? Shit. Okay, so there is a. What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? Oh, there's no way in hell you have a history of everything, do you? No way, no way. Okay. There was a way to create a collection. Um, um, Create collection. Is it midnight tickets? Shit. What is the service ticket? That might be it. Is it? Nope, still not happy. Why are we still not happy? You got your sequences in there. I think those two are anyway. Okay, yeah, cool. So these did retain. That's so weird. So strange. So now why? Okay, now I gotta look into this thing more. Midnight Technician Seek. Yeah, that one's there. Well, this is fun.
Troubleshooting's half the job.
Half. It's more like 2/3. Could not create or query collection repository find all by customer ID. Pageable. Is it the paging that you don't like? Is that what you don't like? So I'll turn those back because that's gonna give me nothing. That did nothing for me. Yeah, cool. I don't think it likes the paging I added. That's literally the only thing I can think of. Cool. So let's let's try running that again. And that's all happy. Yeah, it didn't like paging. Cool. Cool. Okay. So now if I go back into my front end and I undo that shit and rerun my website, go to here, log in. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Look at that. Here I am, logged in. Great. And the two service tickets I have are there. My CSS and front end is not my strong point. So thank thank God for Lime Leaf making stuff easy. Um, this whole thing is using Time Leaf in the front for the engine. Spring Boot under the hood power and everything. So I can register any number of devices here. Hey, bug boy. I can register whatever kind of device I want here. These devices here are all pulled from the back end. A little bit about myself. I grew up in the 90s. I got my family PC in 95 in 97 when we got our first Windows 95. I went down the rabbit hole of the magic box that did more than just a TV, and it was mystery and magic all at the same time. So I went down the rabbit hole of how tech works. Um, oh, thanks for the sub, dude. I got into Java itself in around 2001, 2002, and it's been a drug ever since. Completely self-taught, and um, I wanted a way. I've mentored a few different people over the years, teaching them this and that, and then I started this YouTube channel as a way to kind of also teach others how easy it is to get into to programming, in my opinion. Um, and actually, I got one of my developers with me, Z. He's in the call with me here on the stream. I just finished. If you missed it, I
Hello.
just finished getting him set up on the. Look at that! You were born right around the curve when I started programming. Damn, that makes me feel old. Shit. Um, but I've always saw that there was a lot of easy Java tutorials out there that taught you the basics about, this is an object-oriented language, it's a high-level programming language, yada yada. It teaches you what this and that is. But I felt like there was never anything that got you ready for the real world, so to speak. There was never something that gave you the basics that you need, rather just teach you the basics of the language. And then there was always these little unit sections where it's like, this is a REST client, this is how you use REST, this is what REST is, and this and that. But again, there was never anything that kind of went full stack and like was readily available for somebody to just download, clone, and just go to town and explore and play to get to learn. So I decided that I wanted to do this. Knowing just Java, I don't feel like would land you anything more than potentially an internship. Um, I feel if you're trying to make it as a Java developer, you need to know a kind of a few things about other languages. Like if you're going to be using Maven, you're going to need to know a little bit about XML. if you're going to be doing any sort of microservices, it's pretty helpful to know at least know your way around maybe HTML or at least some bare minimums of other other languages. As far as knowing doing things with just Java, um, it's a very solid tech stack and a very solid language in my opinion. And there's not much that can't be done with it, especially with the leaps and bounds they've been making with Java 25. It's come a long way since the early 2000s. How long have you been how long have you been building apps for yourself? Yeah, uh, I'm building a kind of a web app for a fictitious company that I've started calling Midnight Technician. It's sort of like a backyard technician that wants to keep track of customers, their devices, employees, tickets that are getting worked on, payments, all that sort of things. I'm eventually going to add in a payment processor like PayPal so people can like make an invoice and essentially have it paid. I'm going to be introducing Kafka so that there's a message queue in between all of the services. Right now, I only have 2 services for my microservice backend, but I plan to expand that into the potential dozens over a short period of time. I'm looking to make this project as a way to teach people best practices and principles, but also how to get around things, how to problem solve, starting small and then hopefully growing larger, introducing tech stacks like Sentry for logging, Kafka for messaging, Spring Boot for microservices, Timeleaf for HTML engines, and trying to keep it as simple and language minimal as I can. I guess I don't want to be introducing like languages into one project. I'm trying to keep it down to about 4 to 5 languages, including the HTML side of things. Um, but trying to keep it simple. Trying to. Something like that. I'm in my mid 30s. I was born in '90. Excuse me, this is a live show, so we're about to have a little break myself. I'm personally not a huge front end developer fan. I'm not a big fan of React or like, and it's all because when I grew up learning to code and learning the front end web, it was like Notepad, DOS, and it was a painful thing. There was no easy way to do it. So like web development, I feel like has become a lot easier nowadays than it used to be in my day. Um, but I hate it, but I don't mind it. It's not my sharpest skill. Um, that more lies in backends and networks and networking and services versus front end. Nice. How long have you been at your trade? No, you're not wasting my time. I'm just kind of showcasing this app and what it is, and kind of highlighting that it's a thing that can be easily forked and kind of encourage other people to uh, join in as well, and pull it, get used to getting used to an open source project that you can make a pull request to as well, and like it kind of get your feet wet with Git, get your feet wet with Java, Spring, Kafka, all sorts of things. The idea is that hopefully other people can. Jira is more of a way to deploy, if I remember correctly. It's sort of like once you're ready for deployment, you have an app that's ready to go. You or like a library that's ready to go or something like that. You would, I believe that I I can't remember the last time I used Jira. Um, I believe I believe it was when I did my last my last API for a project called the Runiverse. I think it was that was a couple of years ago now. But if I remember correctly, that was for releasing. Oh yes. Okay. You're talking. Okay. Sorry. I'm thinking of another one. I used to use that for ticketing. Went back in the previous call centers and things that I've used as well. Um, I'm not actually using it right now for ticketing. I'm pretty much just using GitHub, um, and using their issue tracking for now. Um, I'm using Sentry for logging, and
Speaking of Sentry,
yeah, you need to go to Sentry.io and get yourself set up on.
oh,
Well,
will that do it? Okay.
I have it set up for one that's called the Midnight Technician, so you'll probably have to name it the same for yourself, but then you'll have your own copy of it. There should be a .env.example file that you'll pretty much have to stick into your IntelliJ's uh, properties file.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, Sentry's sort of like common to all projects, all languages. So it's kind of just like a logging. It's more of a logging system that also gives you helpful statistics and insight into your project as well. Yeah, Sentry is kind of like when you would employ you would have it like you would like when you're say doing a try catch, and you catch the error, you log it out to the console. Sentry also sticks that into a into kind of like a cloud for logs, in that it keeps track of all the logs, how many times it's been hit, how like the breadcrumbs, frequency of it, so you can see it's been hitting more, been getting this more frequently in the afternoon than you have in the morning. But it helps kind of categorize and track everything, all the errors and logs into one, so that you don't have to go scouring through log files and grepping and like SSHing into like 20 different machines, and like it saves you an immense amount of work, and you just go to a simple web page and everything's there. um, ooh, ooh. So this is an example other project I had, but it gave me a couple of errors that happened, and I can go into it to see what it was, how many times it happened, whereabouts it was. Gives me some of the stack trace that came out with it, so I can help see where and what it came from. Gives me some extra breadcrumb details that um, is nice to have, but I haven't really found it be too useful in any sort of situations that um, I've been using. However, it's as far as the analytics you get back from it, the usefulness of it, it's absolutely amazing. I'd like to fix this up so that when I actually do that, it refreshes the page instead of having me refresh it. I know there's a way to do that, but my JavaScript is very rusty. These are things I gotta add into it to plan into the plans later. Um, but also you can kind of test everything through the built-in web client here, HTTP client in IntelliJ. I preach IntelliJ all the time. You guys probably hear me if you do watch me a lot or like follow me in Discord a lot. Like you'll get sick of me saying it. That being said, if you do kind of want to join our Discord and check out the community, I can link that later in the description. And I typically am streaming and coding and listening to music in the background and pretty much all day, every day. Um, I have this thing where I can't work a normal day job. Um, I have this disease called gastroparesis. So I can be fine and dandy one moment, and then I can be down out sick, vomiting into the hospital without a moment's notice. And so employers don't like that very much when you're a very unreliable person. But I can't work a regular 9 to 5 day job, so I pretty much just sit at my computer and write code all day. I mentor people and talk to them on Discord as my kind of main platform. Um, but I mean, if you're down to hang out and chat, I am pretty much in a voice chat all day, every day. Um, yeah, that being said, I'll throw my link in the description of this video after we're done. Um, so right now there's only the this well, this is the front end. This back end is the I was initially going to do it as a monolithic program, um, but then I realized that everybody's everybody the microservices are just like kind of the way to go now, the standard to go. So I decided to make, and I used a very poor naming, and I called this services at first. This should be just the core because it's basically the core of the core services that need to be run in order for service that needs to run for the project to be able to float. And then everything else from there is just essentially an extra service. So that's why you can see this down here in the services section of IntelliJ that there are two Spring services running on two separate ports, and that's ideally what, or essentially what, um, microservices are. Is they are just a bunch of programs inside of one project, if you will. Not necessarily, but it's essentially just different projects. In this case, it's different modules. Um, I'll do a video about setting up a module and explaining it. Maybe I'll add a new module in here for another service because I do intend to add in more later on. There's going to be one for notifications. There's going to be one for emails. There's going to be one for payment processing. There's going to be a few different. Hey, Shady. There's going to be a few different types of services that I'm going to be getting added on here. So you'll eventually see how microservices can grow, and different ones are going to have their own databases with their own services. So then you got databases that you have to spin up, and you're going to really get to see just how important it is to utilize tech like Docker, because we're going to be able to spin up um, a whole bunch of different databases or containers. You'll see here that in this backend right now, we only have two. There's the Postgres one and a Mongo one. Our Postgres one has the Midnight Technician Postgres, and our Mongo has the Mongo Technician because I was totally dropped the ball on naming that Midnight Technician Mongo. Forgive me. um, so there will be more of these databases added in here as we expand. I think I'm going to stick with Mongo as the primary database because personally, it's my favorite. I like the non-SQL database. It's most friendly in my opinion. I've worked with a lot of databases over the years, but again, personal preference. I mainly wanted to show people how you can have different services with different databases and have that kind of example out there in the world. Um, but going forth, I am most likely going to continue on with Mongo databases just because personal preference. Um, so we're going to be adding a payment process service, a um, notification service. The notification service is going to be mainly so like when people make a new ticket, the employees are going to need to get notified, but at the same time, we're going to email the customer a confirmation that their thing has been done, and maybe like when a new customer creates their account, we want to fire off a welcome email and like also send off maybe some sort of other thing. So the idea is to teach you how to do all of these um, actions at once and kick off events. And then the idea is to show it in a microservice architecture at first. So we're going to go through and do this all, making a whole bunch of HTTP requests at first, and you'll see how that's going to become seemingly like a good idea at first, but you'll see how we're going to come into the pitfalls once we get into communications across multiple services. And that's when we're going to then step in and add the big boy Kafka in so that we can keep a continuous message queue going where we can just create these topics, whether it be a notification topic, an email topic, a this, a that, and then we can have all of these services just plucking from the same pile, versus um, going through with all of the um, HTTP requests, and you'll also see how it becomes more secure this way because then there's no external communications to be able to be sniffed out or listened to. Um, but that's the game plan going forward with all this. I will look at wrapping this up in a little bit ish because it's kind of getting a little long. Do you have any more questions, Thomas, or like how far did you get along?
We can go over the Sentry thing off stream if you like.
Yeah,
I'm just playing
I'm
around with
gonna
Sentry trying to figure out how to get it to work.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a video on how to set it up. It is pretty simple. Um, but if we go to sentry.io and we log in, log in here, super secure. Shit, put the wrong code in. Yeah, that works. That's gonna get me in. So project. So I created a new project and then when they called it Midnight Technician. So you'll need to call yours the same, otherwise you got to change strings inside the project. And afterward, it gives me a whole bunch of stuff down here, including the tokens that I need. So it'll say here where your Sentry auth, which is an environment variable you'll need. You click to generate, and it's going to make you a token. You can ignore this part because this part's already technically set up. And then you will need this address here. That's another address that needs to get put into the configuration, and I'll run you through how to do that as well. And then finally, that is basically it for setup for that. I'll show you where to put those and how to put it because I'm gonna record a video on that specifically as well. I'll probably do that either late this evening because I do have to run out to a natural history museum before they close this evening. Um, my wife my wife makes these crocheted things and she made F-bombs. Cool as shit. And I wish I had a merch store because I could sell her stuff. Like a little midnight coder F-bomb. That'd be cool as
That's
shit.
pretty cool.
But she's selling she's selling some crafts, so I got to go to there at some point. But um, this evening maybe we'll reconnect, Thomas, and I'll make a video with you if you're down to collaborate with a video, and we'll go through setting up Sentry and getting it all configured. Maybe I'll walk through how to set up this whole project from scratch. Maybe I'll just delete it off my computer completely and then like show the entire setup and how to pull everything in and get everything going right from the get-go. That'd be kind of cool, I think. What do you guys think?
I think it'd be perfect. I think I have some time this evening. We'll see.
Sweet. Um, if not, in my I'll be in the Midnight Coders Discord, and I'll be in a live chat there. So if you're not a part of the Discord community, join it. Come out, hang with us, get to know us. We're pretty cool. We like coffee, we smoke weed, and we build applications. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. I'm gonna have some more videos pumping out about this. If you'd like to see me go live a little more often, maybe, you know, I'm cool with going live. I might get a Twitch account, or might see if I can do it. I might just do a YouTube every day. I'm cool with that. I don't know. I like to stream and code and teach and talk, and probably more than I should. But yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed already, hit that button, hit that like, let me know I did good. This is Thomas with me. He's also known as Z in Discord. He will most likely be around in future videos, unless he has other plans in life. I was really hoping he was going to say something there. Okay, well, leave me hanging
Nice to
dry
meet
there, bro.
everybody.
Bro just leaves me hanging dry. Jeez.
Oh, can you not hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, no, I was saying nice to meet everybody.
Oh, what the hell do I went ghost! Don't know what I did! There it goes. Okay, cool. I'm back. Oh, it's been a bit since I've live streamed. It's been a bit too long. Far too long. Far too long. Alright guys, I will update the description, put in my Discord links. If you haven't already, start the project, fork the project, explore, make your own features, create a branch, make a pull request. I will put together a README file breaking down just how you can get the project, collaborate with the project, how you can go about making a pull request, and we will make a video about it and document all sorts of cool shit as we make new features. If you want to get involved, we will have a thread somewhere posted in the Discord where we're going to plan out and talk about features that we want to add to this fictitious company and whatnot, and maybe features that other people want to attempt to write. Maybe have maybe have their code reviewed on stream or on video or something like that. You never know. Maybe you want to get collaborative and jump into chat with me and the guys. We'll find out. Keep that coffee cup full and stay curious.